powerful storms around the state today.
Damaging wind and strong storms here across the state with some flooding concerns. What you can expect into the overnight hours and also for your morning drive.
We know that we're going to continue to get these kind of rain cycles that come through here.
And one Utah community is bracing for more flooding tonight after this storm already dealt a damaging blow.
Plus, how other areas are preparing for the possibility of more fast-moving floods tonight.
She's a certified star in Ukraine, and now this singer is making her home here in Utah.
When everything started, we were all scared.
New at 9, how she's helping her home country from inside a Utah high school.
On days that he felt ill, he would still be here. But you know it's really bad when he's not here.
I'm Brian Cheney in Salt Lake City, remembering a local icon who touched so many lives all over the globe.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
It was a busy day for severe weather all over Utah. Rain, hail, heavy winds, flood risks. We saw it all, and Utah's Weather Authority is tracking it every step of the way.
We have team coverage for you tonight. Fox 13 News reporter Emily Tenser is in Tooele County at the Jacob City fire burn scar, where flood risk was a real concern.
But we start with meteorologist Allison Krogan. Allison, what a day this has been.
Yes, and we still have some chances tonight for some areas of heavy rainfall. Right now, where we're seeing our strongest storms is into northern Utah, northwest side of the Great Salt Lake. Worth pointing out that just a few hours ago, up towards Pocatello, we did have a tornado warning for that area around 7 p.m. So what we're tracking for you into the overnight hours will continue to be a few areas of strong storms. Right now, down into central Utah, and then we still have the flash flood warning for the Jacob City burn scar until 9:15. But as we take you across the state, tracking still a few storms down Capitol Reef all the way down towards just northeast of Zion National Park, and we'll keep that chance for some areas of flooding concerns into the overnight hours, especially through central and eastern Utah. Into tomorrow morning, temps in the 50s and 60s, highs tomorrow comfortable in the mid 70s as we dry out as we get closer to the weekend. Coming up, I'll let you know what you can expect for the areas of flooding concerns tonight and also how long the cooler weather will last.
Allison, thank you. One home is evacuated and other properties damaged after flooding in Tooele County hit homes near the Jacob City burn scar. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning that's still in effect right now.
Fox 13 News reporter Emily Tenser is live in Stockton tonight near Soldier Canyon. Emily's been with emergency management crews who have been monitoring the damage. Emily, how bad is it?
Bob, Kelly, it's been a few hours since the last bit of rainfall, but that means it's only a matter of time before all of the mud and debris up in the mountains makes its way down here. The road to Soldier Canyon, that's closed, and so is Highway 36 near Stockton.
Every time an intense downpour hits Tooele County, residents look to the mountains in fear of what comes next.
Yep, sounds like a freight train coming through.
4 p.m. Wednesday floods damaged multiple properties near Soldier Canyon, and one woman was even evacuated.
It's a challenge for this entire range right now, the entire Oquirrh Mountain range in Tooele County.
Mud, muck, and debris coat the road and surrounding fields and farmland. Cleanup crews do what they can to clear it up before the next rainfall brings down more.
Unfortunately, we know that we're going to continue to get these kind of rain cycles that come through here.
Stockton Mayor Nando Maley says the state and feds approved funding to create berms in the canyon to stop the threat.
That should help alleviate the problems of the flooding.
The town hopes to have those barriers in place by next spring.
Right now, it's going through some engineering design work to do some of this.
For now, the county wants to remind homeowners to be ready in case it happens again.
Mother Nature chose to make it happen for us today.
The mayor tells me the town shut off its water treatment plant today to prevent mud from getting into the water system. I also spoke to the daughter of the woman who was evacuated. She is doing okay, but her home also flooded last summer, so they're not looking forward to having to clean up the land all over again. Reporting live near Soldier Canyon, Emily Tenser, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Thanks, Emily. It's now been about a month since severe floods hit Moab, and the city is now trying to make sure damage is minimized this time around if there are more heavy storms.
Now, here is a bridge with a temporary water line running over it. That's why crews are working to reinforce the bridge so the water line isn't damaged, impacting residents in the area. Using mud, rocks, and concrete, they are trying to shield the bridge from strong gushes of water if the creek overflows again. Moab is under a flood watch until tomorrow night.
And right now, businesses in Moab, they're preparing for storms rolling through as they're still dealing with the impacts of that historic flood. Sandbags line the front of Desert Bistro. That's a local restaurant in Moab that was hit by the floods last month. The owners say the sandbags did keep the water out of their place last time, and they're hoping this helps if storms are severe tonight and tomorrow. Well, they say last month's flood brought several inches of mud right in front of the restaurant and into the parking lot as well. This is video from that flood. It took days and the help of many neighbors to clear the area, and it's something they hope they don't have to deal with again. The city is giving out free sandbags at the Moab Public Works Department yard and County Roads building.
Don't forget, you can track the weather with Utah's Weather Authority wherever you are, right from the palm of your hand. Scan the QR code on your screen right now to download the Fox 13 Utah Weather app from Apple App Store or the Google Play Store.
In other news tonight, a mother is reacting over a settlement reached in the shooting of her autistic son by Salt Lake City police. 13-year-old Lyndon Cameron was shot 13 times as he ran from officers on the night of September 4th, 2020. His mother, Golda Barton, had called police because her son is autistic and told them he was carrying a BB gun. Fox 13 News asked her what she would tell the police who shot him.
I would say, I forgive you. Because it's too heavy to hold the hate.
Golda says the shooting is something her son cannot get out of his mind. The city did not accept any liability, and details about the settlement were not given. The city does say the settlement will provide Lyndon with long-term, lifetime care.
A Roy family is in mourning tonight after a father of 6 was killed while riding his motorcycle to work Monday morning. Ronnie Holkin was also known as RJ. Roy police say he was hit by a northbound car turning left at 4800 South, 1900 West. He died at the hospital. RJ's family says he was a roofer and worked in construction and started a new job just a few weeks ago. But they say what he did best was being a devoted husband and father to his 6 children.
He has never skipped a beat with not one of them. Like, no matter what he's going through in life, no matter where he's at in life, no matter what he's doing, like, that is one thing that his kids can count on. His dad is going to be there.
His legacy is his kids. He just kept going for his kids. He never gave time for himself, never gave money for himself. Everything went to his kids.
Police say the accident is still under investigation. A GoFundMe page has been set up for the family. We have a link to it on our website, fox13now.com.
I will remember him as a person who will use all his intensity to make you feel good.
The iconic personality behind a local restaurant being remembered. How he touched people not here just in Salt Lake City, but across the globe.
When was the last time you checked Google reviews on where you're going to buy your gas?
The state of Utah attaches this sticker to every fuel pump it inspects. But what happens if that pump isn't giving you what you're paying for? We'll tell you.
Imagine being an NFL player and not being allowed to park in the player's parking lot. Well, that happened to Britton Covey. He'll tell us about it coming up.
Orem residents will vote this November on whether or not to create a new Orem school district. That would mean splitting from Alpine School District and schools like Orem High. Now, one of the issues is if students outside of Orem could attend schools in the new district. State Senator Keith Grover is sponsoring a bill that aims to answer that.
And so what happens to some of those kids that live in Pleasant Grove or in Linden or in our case Vineyard. And what happens to those students? Can they still attend? I would say yes, and this bill will seek to clarify that, of course, those students will be able to continue to attend the schools they've been attending.
Only 36% responded to a recent survey of PTA members, but of those who did, 33% wanted to stay in the Alpine District. We do have an update to a story we brought you yesterday. A 15-year-old boy has been charged in the stabbing of a Taylorsville couple. It happened early yesterday morning in the couple's home near 4800 South and 3400 West. The suspect was found just a few blocks away and then taken into police custody. Detectives say the teen entered the home through an unlocked door. Police are calling it a random act of violence. Both victims are expected to survive. Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes is signing the state onto a fight over classified documents seized from former President Trump's Florida home. Reyes joined other Republican states in demanding privileged documents be returned. The fight is led by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who filed an amicus brief with the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Reyes has been a vocal supporter of former President Trump. The Utah Attorney General's office had no comment on the decision to join the legal battle.
The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates by another 0.75 percentage point. Fox 13 News wanted to know what that will mean for you. So I spoke with Jeremy Blair this afternoon. He's the Vice President of Finance with Mountain America Credit Union. We talked about how the Fed is trying to tame inflation, the highest it's been in 40 years. He says Utahns will have to tighten their belts and get used to living on a budget.
For the average person watching interest rates go up, if you're in that phase of life where you do have debts, if you're in that area and you're looking at these rates going up and you're saying, what can I do to better my situation into a rising rate environment? The best advice I can give is go in and speak with a financial advisor, a good trusted advisor that's going to help you look at your debts and maybe consolidate down any of those that are floating rate debts, because those are the ones that are going to be going up quickly, and see if you can get those down into a single fixed rate product that's not going to rise along with these interest rates. And that'll go a long way to helping you control your personal debt burden as we start to see these rates rise up.
The Fed predicts having to raise interest rates another 1.25% between today's increase and December. That would put the prime interest rate at between 4 and 4.25%. The Wall Street Journal reports officials are uncertain where interest rates will go after December. Some experts believe interest rates will remain above 4% through 2024. Others believe the Fed will cut interest rates in 2024.
An iconic personality in the Utah fine dining scene has passed away. Walter Nassi of Walter's Osteria died after a long battle with health complications at the age of 76.
Fox 13 News anchor Brian Schnee spoke with those who knew him best about the incredible legacy he leaves behind.
The kitchen at Walter's Osteria, doing what they do best. Before tables fill up with customers on a Wednesday night. But this day was a tougher setup than most.
I will miss him. I'm missing him as we speak, and I will always think of him.
The team at Walter's preparing to welcome customers, which they're known for, thanks to the name behind the business.
Most of us, we call him Maestro. Most of us, we call him Dad.
It'll be the first night without the name recognized the most. Walter himself.
On days that he felt ill, he would still be here. But you know it's really bad when he's not here.
Walter Nassi, an award-winning, iconic presence felt in the Salt Lake City food scene for years, passed away at 76 years old.
You know, he was a force of nature. I hate to talk about him in the past.
Luis knew Walter for more than 30 years. They saw each other last week.
I remember asking him, you know, ¿Cómo está? How are you? And he looked at me, I looked at him. And we both knew.
Not only is the restaurant known for its authentic Tuscan Italian cuisine, but for Walter himself and his unique, commanding personality.
You know, he knew how to navigate, you know, this room. how to greet people, how to make people feel good, how to make people feel good about being here, how to make them feel unique, special.
Special enough to take a photo or two.
It's really a sad loss, not only here but to the world.
Valter's reach spanned far beyond the state of Utah. Check out some of the people who have taken photos with him over the years: Donovan, Rudy, fellow NBA star Steph Curry, and then back on the local scene, our most recent governor, Gary Herbert.
For Valter, he really wanted for people to walk through the doors. He wants them to leave much happier than they came in.
The reality of Valter's passing still fresh in the mind of his team, but they knew what he would have wanted the most is to open the restaurant doors.
This is his baby. He put it before his health, even before his family. This was his family.
In Salt Lake City, Brian Schnee, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Extremely strong winds are being reported throughout the Mountain West. This is video from Matthew Davis. It shows a possible tornado. This is near Pocatello, Idaho. Take a look at this video.
Wow.
The National Weather Service did issue a tornado warning for the area, which expired at 7:45 this evening. The NWS reviewed this video and called it a, quote, gust-nado that's similar to a dust devil.
You can see that circulation starting at the surface right there, and we had some very strong wind reports here across Utah tonight as well. Wanted to start with this picture coming in from Sandy from Brad. Thanks so much for sharing this with us. We do have some minor wind damage in this area, but overall, we've had such an active day here across the state. As a cold front moves in tomorrow, temperatures will be much cooler, below average, way different than when we started the month of September. We're going to have a little bit of a cool down for Thursday and Friday, and then we will heat back up. Now, we're not done with the storms completely. We still have a few areas of thunderstorms that we're tracking for you. First of all, let's talk about northern Utah, northwest Box Elder County near Snowville. This is the line of thunderstorms that ended up producing that tornado warning up towards Pocatello a few hours ago. The rest of Utah today, we're still seeing a few thunderstorms developing through south central Tooele County down into central Utah as well. And what we'll be watching for you in the overnight hours will be turning from the threat of the wind and the hail to more of the concern for flooding as a potential into the overnight hours, especially across central, southeastern, and eastern Utah. So today, what we're watching for you right now, just west of Boulder, northeast of Bryce Canyon, still a few thunderstorms developing just south of Loa this evening. And let me take you through the next couple of hours, because by 11 o'clock tonight, we'll still have some thunderstorms rolling for the spine of Utah and along the east side of the mountains as we continue into the overnight hours. Some strong storms are possible up in the Uinta Basin, and then down towards about Green River and into Hanksville. These storms will continue to move off to the east through early Thursday morning, 5 a.m. Still, we could see a few scattered isolated showers early in the day tomorrow. And then into tomorrow afternoon, we're mainly going to be seeing quite a bit of clearing across the region. So overnight temps, 50s and 60s, waking up on Thursday morning. Still stay weather aware if you're in eastern, central, and southeastern Utah. And then into tomorrow afternoon, temps will make it only into the 70s. So if you've been waiting for more fall-like temperatures, you're really going to like tomorrow and Friday. Now for St. George, your chance of precipitation is going to be low tomorrow. Isolated, drier this weekend. By Ogden's 7-day forecast, that chance tomorrow will be scattered, and then you'll see some drier conditions. And for Utah County, tomorrow, widely scattered, drier this weekend. So for St. George, you're in the upper 80s tomorrow, 90s return after that with sunshine this weekend. And for the Wasatch Front, 70s through Friday. Warmer this weekend. We'll break down our rain chances here in Salt Lake coming up.
Claiming you have money that you do not have does not amount to the art of the deal. It's the art of the steal.
New York's Attorney General suing former President Trump for fraud. I'm Laura Ingle in New York. I'll have the details coming up.
In national news, former President Donald Trump and 3 of his children are now the target of a fraud lawsuit in New York State.
The Attorney General says today's filing is the culmination of a 3-year investigation into the former president's business practices. Fox News senior correspondent Laura Ingle has the story.
A bombshell lawsuit Wednesday from New York's Attorney General accusing former President Donald Trump and his adult children of fraud, alleging they lied about the value of assets in order to inflate his net worth by billions.
Claiming you have money that you do not have does not amount to the art of the deal. It's the art of the steal.
Attorney General Letitia James says Trump boosted the value of his properties when it gave him an advantage, like in securing a loan, and played down their worth when it came time to paying taxes on them.
Everyday people cannot lie to a bank about how much money they have in order to get a favorable loan to buy a home or to send their kid to college. And if they did, the government would throw the book at them. Why should this be any different?
The civil suit takes direct aim at Trump's public image of a savvy businessman, one that he has cultivated throughout his career, first as a real estate developer and then as the host of The Apprentice before his foray into politics. Trump and his kids quickly firing back, blasting the suit as a political stunt. Trump writing on his social media platform, Truth Social, another witch hunt by a racist attorney general. She is a fraud who campaigned on a Get Trump platform. Donald Trump Jr. tweeting, Letitia James doesn't care about the law. She's a Dem activist who only cares about politics. James wants the Trumps to pay $250 million in restitution and to permanently bar them from doing business in New York State. In New York, Laura Ingle, Fox 13 News, Utah.
They have wanted to be in compliance.
You're not just pouring fuel into your gas tank, you're pouring money into it too. So how does Utah know that you're getting what you pay for? We'll explain coming up.
Plus, it's not just a gondola. Why UDOT is now proposing a toll for drivers in Little Cottonwood Canyon to be part of the package deal.
Players from the Utah Jazz and Real Salt Lake practiced together today on the soccer field. We'll hear from RSL's head coach on today's joint practice.
Her star was on the rise in her home country of Ukraine until war broke out. Now she's calling Utah home, and she has a plan to help her country from here.
So out of 5 gallons right now, the customer is getting approximately 6 extra shot glasses of gasoline.
Correct.
When was the last time you checked like Google reviews on where you're going to buy your gas?
We've all had sticker shock filling our gas tanks, but have you ever watched the meters on the pump turn and wonder who's making sure those numbers are accurate?
I have thought that myself. Fox 13 News investigative reporter Nate Carlisle watched one of Utah's gas pump inspectors do his job and asked what the state does when a station is not giving you your money's worth.
Have you ever wondered if you're getting what you pay for at the gas pump?
Absolutely. Sometimes I've filled up with gas and my car doesn't work so well, so I'm wondering that it got watered down.
Only one time because it was very slow and it was overestimating how much gas it had prompted.
Have you ever wondered if your gas pumps are accurate?
From time to time I have. I usually take it for granted that they are, though.
Here's the 0, and here's your 6.
Making sure your gas pump is accurate is this guy's job.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubic inches.
Mylan Coford.
Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the pump. We're going to make sure that everything on the signage on the pump is correct. We're going to compare the price on each grade to the street sign to make sure that the advertisement is correct.
Coford and his 7 inspectors from Utah's Department of Agriculture and Food check more than 20,000 retail gas pumps a year, even the ones that aren't for cars.
Last year I had a complaint at Dangling Rope. If you know where Dangling Rope is, it's 50 miles out of Bullfrog. And thank you to DNR, they put me on a boat and took me down there.
Coford showed us an inspection at a Maverick station in Salt Lake City. His team pumps fuel up to a 5-gallon mark on the device in the back of this truck, then compares it to what the pump displays. A slight discrepancy in favor of the station or customer is allowed, but only slight.
So on this is 6 cubic inches, and if you think of a cubic inch as just about a shot glass.
So out of 5 gallons right now, the customer is getting approximately 6 extra shot glasses of gasoline.
Correct. Yeah, we were figuring it was a percentage of a penny.
Inspectors also ensure the gasoline is the octane or purity displayed on the pump label.
This is in fact ethanol-free.
And they do something that's not actually required. The inspectors look to see if thieves have installed a device to steal credit card data.
So we're always looking to check the card reader to make sure there's no skimmers.
How often does the state inspect each gas pump?
Annually is what our goal is. We're annually to 14 months, I should say. If we get a complaint, we go back and we check the station again. We will fail about 1.7% of those. So not a lot of those devices that fail. 20% of those will fail because of calibration, and we usually give the establishment 10 working days to get that corrected.
The station may be required to take the pump out of service until the fix. If the station fails to fix the problem after 10 days, Cofert's division will issue a warning. If the issue lingers, it can issue a citation and fine. But Cofert says Utah hasn't cited a service station in years.
The fuel stations, since we've been going to them regularly for the last 5-7 years, they have wanted to be in compliance.
It makes more sense from a financial perspective to wait and correct the issue if the state catches it than to correct it ahead of time. There's no reason, presumably, why they wouldn't just wait to get caught.
David Carter is a public policy associate professor at the University of Utah. He hasn't studied gas pump inspections, but does research regulation. He says issuing occasional fines would encourage more gas stations to follow the rules.
I mean, when was the last time you checked Google reviews on where you're going to buy your gas? So the same market incentive isn't there, which arguably makes it that much more important to have an effective regulatory structure.
A lot of people are going to hear that you haven't cited a station in 7 or 8 years and think that Utah's not doing its job here. I mean, what would you say to that?
I would welcome them to come along on an inspection. If there was a need to give a citation, I think it needs to be given. But if people are compliant, you don't want to just go out there just to be a gotcha state.
In Salt Lake City, Nate Carlisle, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Fox 13 News learned today of this malfunction with a gas pump in Elsinore, Utah 2 days ago. Dalton Lisenby shared the video of the count continuing to tick upward even though the trigger on the pump was not engaged. He and his wife spoke with the store manager and district manager of the gas station, who told them yesterday the pump was being fixed. Utah's chief gas pump inspector says this can happen when seals in the handle go bad. It's one of the things the inspectors actually look for.
Good catch there by the customer. Yeah. If you think a gas station is shortchanging you or giving you bad gasoline, you can make a complaint to Utah's Weights and Measures program. The number to call is 801-982-2250.
A woman was taken to the hospital after being hit by a TRAX train at the Central Station in Murray this afternoon. UTA officials say the woman had entered the crosswalk in front of a northbound train just before 3 p.m. UTA is currently investigating, but officials believe the safety apparatus appeared to have been operating properly at the time.
Police have arrested a man who allegedly threatened to shoot and kill a school bus driver and all 4 passengers inside. This happened in Sunset on Friday. According to court documents, 57-year-old Barry Bromruff attempted to pull the bus driver out of the bus at 1850 North and 75 West. That suspect continued to threaten the driver as he drove off. Bromruff is now locked up in the Davis County Jail.
Here is another sign the race is tightening between incumbent Utah Republican Senator Mike Lee and unaffiliated candidate Evan McMullin. Fox News has moved the Senate race away from solid Republican to likely Republican. It predicts the race will still go to Lee, but McMullin is making it competitive. It's a downgrade that McMullin's campaign is certainly capitalizing on, saying other polling also signals a neck-and-neck race.
Well, coming up, more discussion on changes to Little Cottonwood Canyon, what UDOT says it wants to add to the proposed gondola.
And there is new evidence that Utahns are conserving water, and it's making a difference in the drought. We'll show you.
And coming up, still tracking a few thunderstorms here across the state as we're getting ready for bed on this Wednesday night. What we could see overnight, and also if we'll see any more storms into tomorrow.
Glad you're with us tonight. UDOT now proposing a toll on the road going up Little Cottonwood Canyon to go along with the proposed gondola project.
UDOT will try buses and other mass transit alternatives first, but because of the $500 million price tag associated with the project. The toll would be an incentive to get more people to use transit and the gondola. But some Utah lawmakers are still concerned about traffic leading to the canyon.
If the mission is to create reliability, sustainability, and mobility, you've solved the last 10 miles, but you haven't solved the first 10 miles because everybody still has to come to the corridor. And you've done nothing in with this gondola to prevent people from coming to my house.
A UDOT official responded saying the department wants to widen Wasatch Boulevard to accommodate traffic. UDOT's public comment period for the gondola proposal runs through October 17th. Utahns are conserving a lot of water this summer, but it's probably not enough to fix our water woes.
It's a good start, though. Data presented to Utah lawmakers today shows Utahns have used 15% less reservoir storage than last year. Billions of gallons were saved in the Weber Basin and in Salt Lake City's service area. 111 million gallons in Washington County. And get this, 726 million gallons in Sandy City alone.
The people of Utah have gotten the message that conservation works.
Now, Zachary Frankel with the Utah Rivers Council says it's great that Utahns have reduced water use by about 10%, but to truly solve our problems, he says it needs to be 30 to 50% savings.
I can't go to war and be a soldier, but I can use my talent, my voice, as my weapon to help my people.
New home here in Utah, how you can help her support her home country.
And we are just hours away from Utah's biggest convention returning. What you need to know if you're attending FanX this weekend.
Coming up in sports, the BYU football team reacts to Dallin Holker leaving the team. And the players from RSL and the Jazz were on the pitch today practicing some soccer. Pablo Mastroeni will tell us about it.
A Ukrainian singing sensation is making a new home in the Beehive State. Yulia Timochko was the runner-up on The Voice in Ukraine last year.
And she has got a voice. Fox 13 News reporter Jenna Bree shows us how Yulia is now giving back to her home country from right here in Utah.
When everything started, we were all scared.
After fleeing her country and living in Poland for months, Yulia Timochko finally came to Utah last week to stay with her sister, who lives in South Jordan.
My mom is still back in our hometown, and we're still worried about her and praying every day to hoping that everything will still be okay.
Singing professionally in Ukraine for more than 20 years, Timochko says she was making great strides in her career, but she had to put everything on hold because of the war.
We Ukrainian people believe that we can fight to the end and stand strong. We have a good, strong army, and it is really hard complicated battle, but we will stand to the end and we believe that we can win this. On October 8th, Timochko will perform for the first time in America. She will sing at a benefit concert at Salem Hills High School. All the money from tickets sold will go back to her home country. Because the war is not over and the fight continues and people are still dying and it's still very hard. Timochko says she has faith that Utahns will help her give back to her country. I can't go to war and be a soldier, but I can use my talent, my voice, as my weapon to help my people. In South Jordan, Jenna Breen, Fox 13 News, Utah.
So talented. The United for Ukraine concert will take place on Saturday, October 8th at 7 p.m. You can find more information, also a link to buy tickets on our website, fox13now.com.
Well, tomorrow night, fans will be on the lookout for famous people at the Salt Palace for the first night of FanX.
Hello to all my friends in Utah. It's me, Super Mario. Woohoo!
No, Super Mario won't be there this weekend, but the man behind his voice will. Charles Martinet is one of an expected 80 celebrities to attract fans to Utah's highest attended convention of the year.
So grateful, especially to the fans, because they're the ones that mean I get to come out and play. I get to keep doing my job and keep going, woohoo!
Organizer Dan Farr says he expects this year to be the best ever.
Ooh.
For a full list, wasn't last year's the best ever too?
It just keeps getting better with time.
Yeah, I think so. For a full list of all the incredible things you can see and do at FanX, go to fox13now.com.
Bob, you should go and make it 81 celebrities.
81
we'll be at
celebrities.
FanX this
No,
weekend.
that'd be an 80 and a quarter celebrities.
Always a good time. And here's something else taking place this weekend. This Friday night, WWE SmackDown, which airs right here on Fox 13, will be taking place at Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City. The action begins at 5:45 p.m.
This is real action too, right? Because all of this is real.
Real. It's the real.
They're really mad at each other.
If you can't go, Bob, you can watch SmackDown on Fox 13 this Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. But we are giving away 4 tickets to the event. I know lots of you would like to go. I know my kids would love it. If you would like to enter to win, my daughter, one of her career goals, seriously, she wants to be like a WWE girl.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
What
have
you done to her to make her want to do that?
This has a huge following. If you'd like to enter to win, we do have details on our website, fox13now.com/contests.
Let's turn serious here for just a second. Video just into the Fox 13 newsroom from Althea Richards. Oh my goodness. It shows just how strong the winds were blowing today. You can see the dust swirling. Oh, wow. And you're thinking those trees are going to get uprooted any second, the debris blowing around. We have sent this video to the National Weather Service for review. And Allison, what do you think they're going to say?
Yes,
was this a tornado-ish?
I went back and I also looked at some of the velocity and different things that you typically look for to see if there's a tornado signature. And with radar, and also I just chatted with the National Weather Service a moment ago, and we're in agreement that we don't think it was a tornado, but we're not quite sure with the vantage point of that video exactly how that formed, likely a gustnado or just a very strong storm that moved through the Grantsville area. So that's out in Tooele County if you're not familiar, just right near I-80. So thank you for sending that in. There was some minor damage at her home. I'm glad everything's okay, though. It looked like there was a little bit of broken glass, and also the awning was a little torn as well. So not too much to clean up there, but obviously that is not what you want to see at your house. Across the state today, we have had some strong storms. All things considering, we're going to have a mostly nice night here across Utah. We still have the chance for a few areas of storms, though, into the overnight hours. Let's start with Salt Lake. Our rain chances are pretty low into the evening. Into tomorrow morning, isolated storms. By about 9 a.m., we could see some widely scattered storms here in Salt Lake City. For Ogden, your chance for storms will be at about 6 to 9 a.m. tomorrow, getting to the scattered category for Ogden. And then the blue line that I'm going to add right here, this is for Provo. You're pretty similar to us here in Salt Lake City, where we're tracking just some isolated possibilities into the overnight hours. And then we get into your Thursday afternoon, and we're really going to be drying out here across the state. So tomorrow, a few isolated storms are possible. Tonight and into tomorrow morning, 50s and 60s. And then for tomorrow here across the state, 70s for Salt Lake. Much cooler thanks to a cold front that's moving through. Park City 64, Moab 82, St. George 86 for tomorrow. St. George, you're 91 on Saturday, and then you're back close to 100 degrees next week. Overnight temps in the 60s, and for Salt Lake City, our temperatures will be in the 70s for Thursday and Friday. 80s return this weekend, so we've got some more sunshine for you, drier conditions, a very nice fall weekend ahead. And as we break down our rain chances here in Salt Lake over the next several days, tomorrow we'll have some widely scattered storms, the possibility mainly early in the day. And then we're going to be drying out for the weekend and through the rest of your 7-day forecast. And then our temperatures by the middle of next week, we're back close to 90 degrees in Salt Lake City.
Well, BYU tight end Dallin Holker has left the team and plans to enter the transfer portal when it opens up in December, ending his career at BYU just 3 games into his junior season. Holker has been BYU's second-string tight end this season behind Isaac Rex with 9 receptions and 1 touchdown, but he feels like he could be used in a better program or a different program, so he's moving on. The news was a surprise to the BYU players and coaches.
I love Dallin, love coaching him, and wish him the best. Really like that kid, and I was gutted.
Dallin's been a good friend, a good friend, brother of ours, and so, it's sad to see him go, but we just hope the best for him and, his future career.
The Utah Jazz and Real Salt Lake had a joint practice today at America First Field. Ryan Smith, the owner of both teams, so they decided to bring the 2 professional teams together on the soccer field. They have a basketball practice planned in the future. While the Jazz are starting training camp next week, RSL's battling for a playoff spot, so it's a nice break for them.
When you're in the grind, there's not a lot of reprieve. It's game to game. It's very focused, and I thought today it was great to integrate the Jazz, and I think joy is why we started playing the game. Today I felt the guys, everyone there, Jazz, ourselves, experienced a great day and a lot of fun. So I think it's a wonderful relationship to have, with the clubs in your market. I think it could be the start of a nice relationship moving forward with the 2 teams.
Britton Covey was a star player at the University of Utah, but the undrafted NFL rookie still trying to make a name for himself with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was elevated from the practice squad to the 53-man roster for the Eagles' first home game on Monday, and he returned 3 punts in that game. But before the game, he was denied access to the players' parking lot.
To no fault of theirs, right? I had the practice squad pass. My teammates told me, just tell them you were elevated to the active roster and they'll let you in. But I could tell they didn't quite recognize me, and when I told them I was elevated, and they said, look, you don't have the pass for this. And I said, no, I'm a player. And they said, we're sorry, man. I got to prove myself in Philly before I deserve to be there. So I liked it. I had to park with the grinders, out about a half mile away with the tailgaters, and a few people recognized me, and they were kind of confused, and I had to ask them, where to go. I thought it was a blast, honestly.
I wonder if we got any tailgate goodies. Well, we'll be right back.
Thanks for being with us tonight.
QuickCast is up next.